Before anyone knew his name, something happened to the world. Not a sound. Not a voice. Not something you could point to and say, "There, that is it." Something changed. The kind of change you feel before you understand it. The kind that moves through your chest before it reaches your mind. The kind that makes you stop in the middle of what you are doing and look up, without knowing why. That was the night he was born. Not in a palace. Not where kings were watching. Not where the powerful would notice. In a stable. A feeding trough for a bed. Straw for a mattress. Animals breathing in the dark. And in that quiet, unnoticed place, the most important life in history entered the world. His lungs filled. He cried. And for the first time in a long time, the world did not feel empty. 3 streets away, Mara was sitting in the dark with an empty jar. She had checked it 3 times. Not because she expected it to change, but because hope does not die cleanly. It lingers. It makes you look again, even when you already know. Empty. Her son cried in her arms. 8 months old. Too weak to cry loudly anymore. The sound came out thin, tired, the sound of a body learning that energy is limited. "I know," she whispered. "I know." She had stopped praying months ago. Not because she stopped believing completely, but because she had believed once, and nothing had happened. 2 children buried. 11 years of dry ground. A God who did not answer. She looked up at the sky. "If you're there," she said quietly, almost ashamed of the words. "Not tomorrow. Tonight." Nothing. No voice. No sign. Just the same silence she had learned to expect. She closed her eyes. And then something shifted. Not outside. Inside. A small movement in her chest, like something tight loosening by 1 degree. Like a door unlocking somewhere she had forgotten existed. Her son stopped crying. She opened her eyes. Above the rooftops, a star burned where no star had been. Bright. Still. Unmistakable. She stared at it. Then she stood. She went inside. Picked up the jar. The same jar. The empty one. It was heavy. She froze. Slowly, she tilted it. Grain poured out. Full. Packed. Impossible. She did not speak. She did not pray. She just stood there, watching something that should not exist anyway. And for the first time in years, hope did not feel like a lie. On the hills above Bethlehem, Caleb was done speaking politely to God. 4, he said to the sky. 4 sheep this month. You understand what that means? That's not loss, that's the end. The sky did not answer. It never did. He laughed once. Short. Dry. Right. He sat down on a stone, hands on his face. I don't even know why I'm talking to you. Silence. Then. A sound. A cry. A newborn's cry, carried farther than it should have been, cutting through the night like something that did not belong to silence. Caleb lifted his head. Above the town, the star. Not moving. Not fading. Burning like it had been placed there on purpose. He stood slowly. Around him, the flock had gone still. Every animal. Frozen. Facing the same direction. Toward the town. Toward the light. They were not afraid. They were waiting. What is that? Caleb whispered. No one answered. He started walking. He found the stable by the light. The door was open. Inside a man, exhausted. A woman, holding a child wrapped in cloth. And the child? Caleb stepped forward. He had seen children born before. Many times. This was not new. But this was not the same. The child turned and looked at him. Newborns do not do that. Everyone knows this. Their eyes wander. Unfocused. Uncertain. This child looked directly. Caleb's breath caught. And something moved through him, not emotion, not thought, something deeper. Something that bypassed both. Not a feeling. A recognition. Like his soul had been waiting for something it had never seen before, and suddenly knew it had found it. His knees hit the ground. He did not decide. They went. "Who is he?" Caleb whispered. The woman looked down at the child. Her voice soft. Certain in a way that did not come from understanding. "I don't know all of it yet," she said. "But I know this." She held him closer. "He is not like any child I have ever seen." At that exact moment, 3 things happened. In Mara's house, the jar filled. On the hill, the animals stood still, facing the light as if they understood something older than language. And 1 mile east of Bethlehem, a man named Dov stood up. He had been lying face down in the dirt. Beaten. Exhausted. Broken in the quiet way men break when no one is watching. For 9 years, his body had learned pain as a constant. And then, it stopped. Not slowly. Not partially. All at once. The pain left. Like something releasing him. He pushed himself up. Stood. Straight. For the first time in years, his body obeyed him. He looked at his hands. Nothing had changed. And yet, everything had. He looked toward the town. Toward the star. He did not know why. He did not know who had been born. But something inside him said, "This is not how it ends." The rain came the next morning. Real rain. Not a whisper. Not a tease. Heavy. Steady. Certain. The kind that soaks into the earth and does not stop. 11 years. And the ground drank. Mara stood in her doorway, her son in her arms, rain on her face. Behind her a full jar. In front of her a world changing. She looked down at her child. Still alive. Still here. For the first time, she was not afraid to hope. "I'm going to name you," she said quietly. The words felt dangerous. But not impossible anymore. She held his hand. Outside, the rain kept falling. The earth softened. The wells would fill. The roots would wake. And somewhere in Bethlehem, in a stable no one important had noticed, a child who would change everything, slept in the quiet. The world did not understand what had happened. Not yet. But it felt it. In the rain. In the breath, in the sudden, unexplainable sense that something had entered the world. Something stronger than despair. And for the first time in a long time, the world remembered how to breathe.